Before you buy anything new this spring, watch what a $150 budget can do. Because adding new stuff, I've learned that that's the easy part. But living with less clutter, that is the goal. So last month, we gave our home a mini spring upgrade with intention, a strict budget, and a focus on using what we already had. Last year, I did a little in-person seminar with a local realtor. So it was a joint presentation, and I obviously talked about organizing and decluttering and purging. And then the realtor got up and he talked about little tweaks that you can make an impact on your home to actually increase the value and just to make it easier to sell. And you know, when you listen to a speaker or some kind of seminar, it could be like 15 minutes or 2 hours, and you always tend to just take away 1 or 2 tidbits from it, or at least that's how I am. And on that day, the one tidbit I took away from his presentation was how focusing on the outside, like as entrance to the house, how that can make a big impact for people. Now, we aren't looking to sell our house. However, this spring, I wanted to give it a little refresh, a little TLC, and I decided to focus on 2 main areas. And the first one being our front entranceway, front stoop, kind of front outside area. And within that area, I chose 3 small upgrades to do. As I mentioned, our budget for the whole refresh was $150. And at the end of the video, I'll share exactly how much we actually spent. But because we had a fairly small budget, I wanted to focus on the things that I could get the most bang for my buck. So this very first kind of project that I focused on was a deep clean project. We had a pair of resin Adirondack chairs, white ones, that we had out front of our house, and we couldn't figure out where we got them. Like, honestly, I think that we picked them up on the side of the road like 5 years ago, or somehow got them free from a garage sale or something. So these chairs owed us nothing. However, they just fit perfectly where I wanted them at the front of the house. I love that they were white, and I really wanted to salvage them. But every year since I've had them, they've just got worse and like more dirty, more filthy. The dirt and dust is just like ingrained in them. And every year I tried to get it off and I just couldn't clean them. So I decided this was a year where it was either going to be I have to get rid of them, or I'm going to bring them back to life. So I did a bunch of research about how to clean this. And the one piece of advice I kept reading was trying Barkeeper's Friend. I had never had this product before, but I know a lot of our clients, I'd seen it in a lot of their houses before. And it really reminded me a lot of just like classic Comet. Like, it probably has different ingredients, but what my mom used to clean our bathrooms with when we were kids. So I went ahead and grabbed it. I think it was $3 or $4 at the store, and I just dug in. This part of the refresh actually ended up taking me, I did it over several weekends, only because it was like a job where I was getting really wet and dirty and it was outside. And this spring has been so cold here. It is still, even when I'm filming this, it is still not warm here. So I was getting so cold every time I did this. So I'd only be able to spend like 20 or 30 minutes on it and then have to come back to it another day. But I will say that it did require more elbow grease than I expected. I really had to scrub. But the results, way better than I expected. When I shared on Instagram that I was doing this, someone suggested using, I should have tried magic erasers with the Barkeeper's Friend to try to make it a little bit more basically easier on me, which might have worked. However, I just didn't want to keep adding to our budget. I just wanted to use what I had. So I had this random silver scrubby thing that was in my kitchen, and that's what I ended up using. I think I also used a part of it, an old toothbrush, when I got down to the nitty gritty at the end. And I hope the footage that I recorded does it justice, because I still can't believe what a difference it made. I just kept scrubbing and then rinsing and scrubbing some more and putting the powder on and rinsing it off. I kept walking past the chairs after I finished them and just being in shock of how good they looked. I will say it left a powdery residue the first couple times. And so the last time I really gave it a really good rinse off really aggressively with the hose and then wiped it off so that the powder wasn't kind of sitting on top. But for $3, this is a huge difference, not only to the chairs, but to our whole curb appeal out front. And most importantly, without adding anything new to our home. So once the chairs were good to go, I moved on to closer to our front door and specifically our mailbox. I had two big beefs with my mailbox. Number one, it had become very rusty. And number two, the old owners, like before we even moved in, had put these house numbers on the mailbox. I understand for function, but I couldn't stand the look of them. Like from the very first time I even viewed the house before we bought it, these had driven me crazy. And I had accepted it and I had lived with them, but it was finally the day where I was ready to get rid of this mailbox. Another reason why I chose the mailbox as part of this refresh is because I knew I could easily get rid of the old one. Often in the past, when I've done like little home like improvements, like replace a light fixture or got new curtain rod or something, I'm always stuck with the old item and I'm always unsure what to do with it. And I don't want to sit in my basement but I want someone to use it. I don't want to just throw it out. And it always takes a little bit of effort. But I knew with the mailbox, because it was metal, I knew I could just take this to scrap metal. And we have like a depot really close to our house where I can just drop that off for free. And I knew that it could be basically just tossed in the scrap metal bin. And I didn't have to stress about what to do with it or where to take it. Because I will often see in client homes that this is a huge type of clutter where they'll replace things, like they'll get a new rug for their living room, but the old one wasn't really that bad, so they don't want to throw it out, so they roll it up and put it in the basement where it just ends up living for 5 or 6 years. So I was just able to add our mailbox to our scrap metal pile, which I usually drop off every month or so. We did do a bit of research for the mailboxes. I think we ended up getting this either at Home Depot or Lowe's, which is now Rona Plus here in Canada, I think. I don't know, I can't keep track. But it's nothing fancy. It's very simple, black metal, basically similar to what we already had, but a new version. And this was for sure the quickest part of the whole overhaul because the new mailbox fit perfectly where the old one was. So it didn't require much work at all, which was nice. And the third and final area for this front entry refresh was also something that I knew I could take to scrap metal. Our house numbers, like our address number on the front of the house, were in really bad shape. Yes, they were like an older style, but that I think it wouldn't have bugged me as much as they were peeling, and I can't tell if they were rusted or they had been painted at some point and the paint was peeling. Couldn't figure it out, but they looked terrible. And most importantly though, is they weren't very big, and we live in a weird corner where we intersect with a bunch of streets and it's really hard to find our house. So I really wanted to have big prominent numbers. So it's easy for when people are coming to our house and when they are when we're getting deliveries. So we went ahead and invested in 2 new numbers. Like I said, I wanted something bigger, and to be honest, I kind of wish we'd got even bigger. These ones felt so big compared to the old ones, but I feel like we could have probably gone even larger with these, but I was still happy with them. And they did require Scott, because they were a different size, Scott had to drill new holes in the wall. But it still took the whole thing took under an hour to do, so it wasn't bad at all. When I originally had this whole refresh planned, I was thinking I was going to do the entire thing, all of it in one weekend, which now looking back is hilarious. Like I never could have pulled that off. But it really didn't take long. It was just I just had a list and we just went through like little projects at a time until everything was done. I was so happy with how these house numbers turned out, and the mailbox and the chairs and the whole little curb appeal. It might not look a lot different to other people, but to me, it just felt so good, so fresh. And without being stuck with any clutter at the end. A second big lesson I've learned about home renos is how much easier it is to focus on things that you're like good at and you know how to do and that you don't mind doing. So if you love painting, then painting a room is always a nice refresh. If you love sewing, then maybe making new curtains. Just whatever can make our houses feel loved without becoming this overwhelming chore. And that's exactly how we chose the second space that we used for this spring little upgrade. I mentioned a bunch of times that my husband Scott is an electrician, and when we were younger, he used to do a ton of side jobs. And one of the requests he got all the time was to replace or install bathroom exhaust fans. And he said they're usually a pain to do. It was kind of a dirty job, but because he had so much experience, it was something I knew he could do. And in our case, it was something we desperately needed. Ours looked terrible. It was so loud, and it honestly just wasn't effective enough for the space that we needed it for. And that's how we chose the bathroom as our second space to focus on. And just like the front entrance, there were 3 things in the bathroom that we wanted to tackle. Number 1 was obviously the exhaust fan. And this was by far the most expensive part of the project and like the dirtiest and the most time consuming. Scott figured out exactly what he needed. We went and got the exhaust fan that he thought we needed, and he spent a whole morning like going up in the attic, making sure it was being vented properly, making sure all the wiring was fine and it wasn't impacting any plumbing, all that kind of stuff. But then eventually got to the point where he realized the fan that he got just was not working in the space we had. So sadly, he had to go the next day and get a second fan to make it work. However, after the few hours of frustration the first day, the second day, it went really easily. It just popped right in and it started to work beautifully. So it not only looked 100 times better, it was way quieter and it worked way more effectively and efficiently in our space. The old fan cover that was there, it was plastic and broken, so it was just garbage. But the old fan itself, Scott for now has kept because he wants to repurpose it in like his workspace area that actually should be better vented. So hopefully he does go ahead and use that, but I will keep an eye on it. And if he doesn't use it, it might be in a future video. And the fan that was too small for the space, sadly, I could not return because we had drilled holes in the side of it to try to retrofit it for our space. So currently I have it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I have not sold it yet, but I will keep you posted on that. And my goal is, though, fingers crossed, to be able to sell it to get some of that money back. Okay, the next 2 bathroom tweaks, please promise not to judge me. I am sharing these because I want to be totally transparent, but please be kind in the comments. I've actually shared in other videos about washing our shower curtain liner. If anyone who actually deals with a shower curtain and a liner, you know that the folds in the shower curtain liner will get filled with like basically water residue, water mildew, and almost like a mold to it. And I've shared in the past how I've washed it. I've used all sorts of different detergents and tried different strategies for it. But we've had this one for a long time and it got to the point where it just had to go and we needed a new one. And when we were planning out this whole project, we obviously made our whole shopping list and we went one day to buy everything that we needed. And when we were heading out, like we were just gonna go up to Home Depot or Lowe's, like I mentioned. But I said to Scott, let's just stop at the thrift store on our way and just see if they have anything. And on this particular day, I was able to find the exact shower curtain liner. White is exactly what we had, exactly what I wanted, for $1. So when we got home, I straight away took my old liner off. That went straight into the garbage. And while I had that off, I took my actual shower curtain, which is also white, and I put that into the wash and I added a little bit of vinegar. I've used bleach in the past. I've also done like laundry stripping on it. It's obviously because it's white, it also gets kind of like discolored. But I Googled it. I've never put vinegar in the washing machine, and I'm not an expert by any means, but Google said that you could do it, but just not all the time because the vinegar will like eat away at any like rubber or plastic bits that are in your washing machine. But as soon as I got that out and got everything dried and clean, I put our brand new liner on, our brand new curtain, and it felt so good and so beautiful. And that left just one more step to make our bathroom feel complete and ready for spring and completely refreshed. And that final step was to tackle above our shower, the ceiling above the shower. Similar to the liner, it's just because all the water tends to settle up there, or like the steam, I guess, is that it creates this sort of basically like a water mildew or water buildup or mold up top, and it is so disgusting. This is by far the worst it's ever got, and I think it has to do with our exhaust fan wasn't powerful enough and wasn't working effectively enough. So I grabbed an old spray bottle. I filled it with half vinegar, half water, or like partial vinegar, probably like a third vinegar or something. And I just sprayed that all over the ceiling and I let it sit for probably at least 30 minutes, probably longer. And then when I came back, I just started to wipe it down. I thought, to be honest, again, I'm like, oh, I'll just be able to wipe it right off. It did require a bit more pressure than I expected. But again, I just used like an old rag or cloth I had, and with a little bit of pressure, it came off so easily. And oh, it felt so good to get this off the ceiling. It looked so good. So now I had a new fan, a new shower curtain liner, a freshly laundered shower curtain, and a fresh ceiling. This might sound small, but for me to go into that bathroom now, it feels so good every time I go in there. If you have an area that's like in your home that's got grimy or just needs some TLC, I strongly suggest adding it to your agenda and getting it done this spring or summer. Okay, I wanted to share what our actual spending was as well. So as I mentioned, our budget was $150 to start, and the exhaust fan, which is most expensive, I think, was $99. The house numbers were around $15 each. The mailbox was $35. The cleaner I used for the chairs, Barkeeper's Friend, that was $4. And the shower curtain liner was $1. So with tax and everything, I ended up spending $170.80. So I did go over a budget. However, I'm still happy with everything that I did with that amount of money. It just makes our house feel so much more loved and so much almost like luxurious now. I know how tempting it is, and honestly more fun, to just refresh our home by going to the store and buying a cute new wreath and candles and blankets and all of that. But with a little bit of a budget, some elbow grease, and some intention, our houses can feel so much more valuable and more peaceful and more loved without adding any new stuff or any new clutter. I hope this inspires you, and remember that a huge step in creating a peaceful and functional home is decluttering. So if you are looking to declutter, I will share a video right here with some inspiration for that. Thank you guys so much for being here, for always watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.